Before we proceed, if you're new to this space, I invite you to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others who may benefit from these thoughts. Your engagement helps keep us engaged in meaningful discussions that challenge surface-level illusions and dig deep into philosophy, psychology, and the timeless insights of influential thinkers. This journey we're about to undertake may not only alter your perception of your own solitude, but of the world itself. This brings us to the loner, the one who feels set apart from the masses. While the majority are preoccupied with approval and belonging, the loner has the opportunity to develop a strength that society often overlooks. Machiavelli believed that the pursuit of external validation, living according to the expectations of others, leads to the surrender of one's power. In trying to fit in, people lose the ability to control their own destiny, but those who stand apart, who learn to endure the silence of solitude, discover within themselves a strength that the crowd cannot understand. Think about the times you've tried to adapt only to feel more disconnected. Have you noticed how solitude allows you to think in ways the crowd never can? According to Machiavelli, this distance is not a weakness, but rather a foundation for independence. By stepping outside of societal norms, you are freed from the illusions the masses cling to. This isolation offers you clarity, the ability to observe life without the blinding need to conform. But let us be clear, solitude is not always easy. It confronts you with your own doubts, fears, and uncertainties. Many avoid silence because they fear what they might discover within themselves. However, Machiavelli's teachings remind us that discomfort is often the birthplace of transformation. It is in solitude that strategies are formed, ideas are conceived, and resilience is forged. The question now becomes, do you see your solitude as a prison or as a hidden school of strength? This simple distinction may determine whether your loneliness weakens you or empowers you beyond your imagination. As we move forward, we will see how Machiavelli's insights can be directly applied to the life of the loner. Solitude, when embraced with wisdom, can sharpen your perception, strengthen your character, and prepare you for challenges others are simply too distracted to notice. The most profound revelation, however, will not come until the end of this exploration. This is not merely about loneliness, but about the freedom that comes with embracing solitude. Machiavelli once wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, and driven by fear and desire, an observation that many see as cynical, but one that offers an unflinching description of human behavior. Those who depend on the collective for their sense of stability and identity will always find themselves at the mercy of forces beyond their control. But do not confuse loneliness with emptiness. Solitude is not the absence of people. It is the presence of yourself. It is in those quiet moments that your thoughts take shape, your creativity begins to breathe, and your true voice emerges. History is filled with thinkers, philosophers, and creators who embraced solitude as their forge. Figures like Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, and Machiavelli himself withdrew from society to sharpen their intellect, wrestling with their ideas in isolation, producing works that would echo through the ages. The irony is that society often misunderstands loners, seeing them as weak or incomplete. Yet, some of the most influential ideas came not from those who followed the crowd, but from those who stood apart. If you've ever felt that your solitude is a sign of failure, what if it were actually a preparation for something greater? What if being alone is not about rejection, but about refinement? These are the questions worth exploring. Do you believe the world truly sees you, or do you feel that your inner life remains invisible to most? If so, what would it mean to embrace that invisibility not as a curse, but as a hidden power? Reflect on this. How do you perceive your place between solitude and society? Machiavelli believed that to succeed in life, one must act according to necessity rather than idealism. This lesson is crucial for loners. If you cling to the hope that everyone will understand or support you, you will likely be disappointed. But if you embrace the reality of solitude and use it to cultivate strength, knowledge, and resilience, you can transform what others perceive as isolation into something extraordinary. This is why solitude is not a void, it is a mirror. In it, you confront who you truly are, stripped of social masks. However, there is a danger to this clarity. Many loners feel disconnected from others because they've seen through the masks that others wear. The more you see, the harder it becomes to connect with others who are still trapped in the illusion. You may question if your solitude is a punishment rather than a path. Yet, Machiavelli's wisdom encourages us to accept the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. If you resist solitude, it will feel like exile, but if you embrace it, it becomes a powerful space for reflection, strategy, and growth. Consider the lives of those who achieved greatness through solitude. Leonardo da Vinci, Friedrich Nietzsche, and others who developed their most radical ideas in isolation. These figures were not diminished by their solitude, they were refined by it. The time apart from the crowd allowed them to cultivate visions that others could not even imagine. This brings us to the central question: what are you doing with your solitude? Are you enduring it passively, waiting for it to end? Or are you actively shaping it into strength, knowledge, and vision? The truth is this: solitude is not a curse for the unlucky. It is a path, chosen or given, that leads to a freedom few ever taste. Machiavelli would tell you that those who understand human nature, who see reality clearly, and who master their own inner world, stand in a position of unshakable power. That is what solitude offers, the chance to build a foundation no storm can destroy.